the struggle I'm dealing with is, do I share this or not? Like, do I have a first market mover's advantage? I see something they don't see, but is it a good share, or is it a share that I shouldn't talk about publicly with other people and show like how I'm doing it because someone could copy me? So like, it's a real conversation of, do I talk about it or not?
You're listening to Let Me Speak to a Manager with Frank Cava and Ian Matthews.
What a crock of shit.
Yeah, that was hot mic, Sam.
It's 30 minutes away. I'll be there in 10.
Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Frankie!
Ian, you son of a bitch!
Frankie, are you happy your Dodgers won a World Series?
I bought a Dodgers jersey. I should have gone upstairs and put that on before we recorded. When I was at the game, I had my third Modelo, and I went to the did I tell you this story? I went to the like the concession stand, or where they sell stuff, the merchandise stand, and I bought like foam fingers, and I had to spend $450, and I bought a Shohei jersey.
My buddy Frank travels to California so often for no reason, but he's there so often that he's become somehow a Dodgers fan. I also think you're one of these just absolutely despicable pricks who picks up a second team because his team sucks. You know, your Red Sox can't win, so you're like, screw it, I'm a Dodgers fan. Whatever.
I'll start rooting for Alabama now. The Patriots aren't so bad.
Yeah, don't get surprised to see Frank in a friggin' Chiefs hat next week, talking about Patrick Mahomes.
No chance. Start rooting for
so
the
Frankie,
Bills.
you're in a hurry. You're rushing me today to record because you're leaving tomorrow for a presentation.
I'm leaving in 2 hours. So Ian and I are our loyal listeners. It's harder and harder. We get on the phone and we start shooting the shit. We probably should have hit record 2 hours ago when we started, but. We're going through just a bunch of different things and just talking. It's like, we're ready to record something. So this is the struggle. So for those of you that listen often, we do have a deal that we're working on that we're getting pretty close to bringing to our investors, and it's for ADUs. So for those of you, maybe you don't understand, let me explain. ADU is an affordable dwelling unit or an additional dwelling unit, and it is allowed in the backyard of an existing house. And we own a bunch of houses, so we're talking this through. But I'm going to an event tomorrow and Friday. We're recording on a Wednesday, and I'm getting on a plane in 3 hours. And the struggle I'm dealing with is, do I share this or not? Like, do I have a first market mover's advantage? There's two people in my audience that are in Richmond. They're not really competitors, or kind of friends, but they're not doing this. So like, I see something they don't see, but is it a good share, or is it a share that I shouldn't talk about publicly with other people and show like how I'm doing it because someone could copy me? So like, it's a real conversation of, do I talk about it or not?
Share with our listeners who is in the audience. What is this event? Who's in the audience? How many people? What do they do?
Perfect. So this is a mastermind group that I go to. It's not one that I have a lot of affiliation or loyalty.
You don't run this one. You are a paying member of a mastermind of other real estate owners like you.
And I've come and gone. Like this is like, I was with the big one that I was with for years. I got paid. I was part of the fabric. Every other mastermind I go to, I'm not part of the fabric. So it's kind of like I'm kind of an outsider. And this is a group where I've come and gone a few times. I don't want to name it, but I've come and gone a few times, and I don't necessarily see eye to eye with one of the guys who runs it. He doesn't love me because I got a leadership role in the group he used to be a part of, and he didn't like that. So the other person who founded it really does like me. He's like, hey, I'd like you to talk about this, this, and this. But in order for me to be really honest about what I'm doing and how I'm kind of ahead and how the market's affecting me, my biggest reaction is to say to you. But again, there's 30 or 40 investors in this room. To my knowledge, I'm the only one that sees this opportunity. I think we're ahead by 6 to 12 months at a minimum. So it's a real struggle with, should I talk about it publicly or not? And I don't think they listen here, so I don't see it as being a risk to talk about it here.
So if you listen to our episode on this particular deal that we're looking to raise, I don't know, $2 to $3 million, and it's going to be a great return for everyone involved. But the biggest piece of it is it's creative as hell. That's why it's going to be a good return. The obvious things don't have good returns. So I had one of the investors that I'm talking to, Frankie. She has plenty of capital to do it, and she's asking me a lot of questions. And she asked a great question, which is 12% is a big number. Like, the obvious question I have is, when it sounds too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true, because usually real estate deals don't hit you over the head with stuff like this. And my exact comment to her was, I thought the same thing. And a big reason why it's going to do as well as it is, because no one else is doing it. We're not out there just trying to buy a bunch of single families and compete with everyone's ass on the rental market and do it a little cheaper. We're doing something kind of unique where we're going to squeeze more value out of the lots that we have than most people can. And that's why the returns are going to be better. I share that, Frank, because as you were saying, I don't know if I should talk about this yet. My take is, if these two are serious threats to you, I would have the same reticence. And the reason I would is, I'd rather they find out after I've done like 100 of them. Now, the other side of me, I have two thoughts on this. The other side of me is, screw it, tell them they're not you for a reason. They'll, even if they tried to steal it, they won't execute, they won't do it. So I guess I could go either way.
That's where I'm at.
Your thoughts on these two? Do you think that they're a serious, like, would you get into how you're going to raise the capital, how you're going to finance it, capitalize it, what the debt structure looks like? Normally you guys do that kind of level of granular sharing when you go to these kind of things.
So I'm going to read you. This is a friend of mine who sent me this, and he's the founder of this group. His name's Fred Lewis. And Fred Lewis is not an easy guy to get along with. Ian's met him. Like, his name is Sammy the Bull, who's a famous mobster who killed people. But this is what people call him. Here's what he wrote. Frank, it would be good for you to update us on the biz and focus on the changes you've seen in real estate that have affected your opportunities positive and negatively. What you are watching out for, your views on liquidity, risk management, and what strategies you will be focused on in the near future. Example, buying rentals, what types? Flipping versus lending, passive investing, GP/LP opportunities. If you have a specific number of business approaches, strategies, or concepts, would you be relevant to the larger group to share? Then outlining and sharing those would be great too. Basically, like, open up the kimono and show me everything. So the third rail of this is the other side. So I've got two competitors in my market. The third piece is, who's in the audience? Are there opportunities for me to partner with somebody? There's something broader, is there something bigger? So
is there anyone in that audience that might think of investing in this?
Or so maybe, but the other side, like, I think we have
my experience in these things is, there's not a lot of money there. They're mainly operators looking for money. They're looking to try to raise. Almost everyone's doing the same thing.
This is a different group. This group really has money. So maybe. But the bigger opportunity for me, I think we're going to have plenty of money to raise on this deal with the people we already got a good relationship with. So I don't know if we need another one.
Yeah.
But the other side of it is, Fred's in the room, and Fred's real smart, right? Fred lends to people around the country. Does he bring me into a JV deal with somebody else, and we use my brain and how we've strategically planned this? Is there more upside than downside? So here's what I'm struggling with. There's the two competitors in my market. I don't want to flood the market because both of these guys control 200 or 300 units each themselves. So if they both copied me, well, now my 300 and I'm competing against 900. We're not standing out. But I'm the only one that plays in the Section 8 space in my market with these two guys. One of them's a college guy, and one of them's kind of like he deals with young professionals. So if I bring it up and they love it, which I think they might, I don't know if I'm saturating my particular market. So, but this is the juxtaposition you're in a lot of times. Do I share or do I protect? And in a lot of instances, most instances, I feel like money is like sunshine. There's more than enough to go around, but I don't know the answer. Like, I don't know the right answer, because they may say, Frank, will you design something like this and build me 300 of these things, which could become a money-making opportunity. So that's my struggle.
As you kind of articulate that a little bit, I'm thinking the same thing. So this first deal we're doing is 30 units. Let's say we get wildly successful with this, Frank, and we do 10 of them. We end up with 300 of these in 7 years. We still don't own 80% of the market. Like, there's plenty of room for those two dudes to do 300 on top of that, and all of you are doing it. And and that is like wildly optimistic. But more likely, they'll be like, that's brilliant. They'll take some notes. They'll come back and they'll kick it around, think about it. And in 5 years, when you have 300, they'll be kicking themselves. Why didn't I do it when Frank was going after it? The truth is, you haven't proven it yet. And so, to two people, you're not going to be getting up there and saying, and here's my exit. I made 40% or 50%. You're like, hey, this is new. This is something I'm taking a swing on. And this is why I think it's a good risk. But here's the downside. Here's what could happen. My guess is, if these guys are like everyone else that I tend to run into, you could tell people exactly how to run a business. You can tell people exactly how to start a business. You can tell people, how to do exactly what you did. You can give them a play-by-play. It's still a lot of grit and rolling your sleeves up, and it's not easy. Like, the level of detail that you've gone into, it's not. This isn't getting a tip on a game you're going to go bet, a football game you're going to go bet on, right?
Right. This isn't GameStop.
Require a lot of freaking, right? I'm going to have a bad back because it's going to be heavy lifting, to make it happen. Most people don't do the heavy lifting when you tell them, here's what it takes to be successful. So I don't know. As I'm thinking about it, I think there's almost no downside. I don't think these two dudes are going to come in and beat you to it, or take your lunch, or somehow become way richer than you and buy you out. Like, right? We suffer more in imagination than we do in reality. The old Stoic prophecy. But I think the other piece of it is also, there's so much more good that can come of it than bad. You're in a room full of very successful rich people, and if you can leave an impression on them that this dude is ahead of people in the market, you're leaving a brand of someone that they want to do business with. This is a guy I want in my network. This is a guy I want to listen to. I want to talk to. I want to send my people in my company out to Richmond to meet with his people and learn from him, because every time we hear this guy talk, I learn. Listen, some people at those masterminds, you get up and take a piss when they get up to talk, or you go take a phone call because here we go again. This is going to be boring and they're not going to show me. You are not one of those people, because you are always on the front edge of shit. And why not continue to build your brand as somebody who is cutting edge in the real estate market, who's creative, always one step ahead? As we talk through this, I don't really see the downside, and I see a ton of upside of impressing that room full of people that you're ahead of something.
So I start thinking about a couple things. I'm 2 years into thinking about this, right? Like we're real close to going out the door. But like Ian and I were talking about something really specific this morning about, like, you're basically building something in someone's backyard. Are they going to move out? I've got about 5 months worth of renewals left to tell. So although we haven't actually done a thing yet, except planning, everybody in our space knows. Like, everybody who rents from us, more than half of our people have been made aware. So we've already done that work. I've already got designs. I've got plans. We've hired like a lady who literally designs the inside of Winnebagos, helping us develop the floor plans, because the floor plans are small. We're trying to maximize our square footage, right? Like, I don't have to tell them who that person is. So it's taken me 2 years to get to this conceptual point, and I've got 26 permits submitted. I don't have one back yet, but 26 in. So it's taken a year to get to here. So there's no way they're going to be able to catch up overnight. That's kind of part of it, right? The other side of it is this. Everybody in that room knows somebody that owns rentals. Because we can force value in the backyard, and because you can add value through development in the backyard, normally you have to buy a portfolio. Like when we did the RBA 75 deal, I had to buy that portfolio at like 55 cents on the dollar, which is hard to buy something that low. But right now, because you can force value on the back end, and because of the things that we're doing, how we're going to build it, the economies of scale, we're going to follow a Ryan Holmes model. We're going to have like literally 6 floor plans, and that's it. So it's really kind of 4 floor plans with kind of 6 fronts. But the reason I bring all that up, it becomes repeatable very quickly. So if you can force value and build at 60 cents on the dollar, you can pay like 70 cents on the dollar, 72 cents on the dollar to acquire. So like where I'm at is I think I'm doing it. And I only was notified a couple of days ago. They gave me an hour slot, which not easy to fill. But I've got enough to talk about like where we're at, how we're doing it. And I think there's so much more upside. And I think there's going to be people call me up and say, hey, could you buy this for 70 cents on the dollar? I'll sell it to you. Inherit my tenants, take everything, pay me close to market. I'll be done with it. And so I think there's more positive than there is negative, but it's a real decision. It's a challenging one to work through.
It's abundance versus scarcity. It comes
Right.
up all the time, right? Do you share everything? Do you believe that there's enough money in the world that you can go get yours and soak in your friends and everyone else? Or do you feel like there's a shrinking money supply, and if you don't get it, every win by your friends is a loss for you, right? Every time your friend makes some bonus or their Bitcoin goes up, then that's somehow bad for you. You know what? Good for you. Great job. You're getting yours. I'm getting mine. Frank has a guy that he knows that we did an episode like 5 years ago where we were picking on Bitcoin. We were talking about Warren Buffett, and this guy like every 6 months sends him a text showing him that his Bitcoin went up again. And I just always love Frank's response is either like thumbs up or no response. Like, cool. Like, I hope you make 100 million. I still own real estate. Like, I don't know it. I don't get it. I'm not doing it, but I really don't care that you're making money. Like, I don't lose sleep at night that you're doing well. It's not taking money out of my pocket, whatever your Bitcoin went to. But I see this, Frank, because I work with people in corporations all the time where you'll see it like, well, I don't, maybe I'm not going to bring that person to a meeting because I know that, so-and-so is going to try to poach them. They're going to try to take my people. Right. I know what's going on. Or, they don't share with someone on their team that there's a position open in Florida because they know that they like Florida. And what's that mean to me? Right. Scarcity. I'm going to lose a really good person. And, the truth is, if you just take care of people and you share everything, yeah, in the short term, it kind of sucks if you lose a person, but that stuff all comes around, right? If you really look out for people's careers and if promoting them means that you somehow lose in the short term, they're going to speak well of you. They're going to speak well of your region. Everyone else around you is going to see what you did for them and want to work harder for you because you're the type of person that looks out for your people, right? Versus if you hoard and control. So I see it in so many different areas of business, not just with small business owners like you, but even in big businesses.
So one of the things that I hear all the time, and I heard it yesterday from somebody, right? They're like, thanks for shooting me straight. Like one of my favorite things about my life, like I'll just be completely honest with you on this. Like this is kind of funny. I curse. I'm someone who curses. I curse at home. I curse at work. I curse with you. Like I curse. And I've had a conversation with my kids and I said, hey, look, if you repeat these words, they're not going to think you're a bad kid. They're going to think I'm a bad dad. And am I a bad dad? They're like, no, Dad, we love you. You're a great dad. I'll go, okay. So I'm going to be me and you're going to hear me. And I've curtailed it some, but not a lot. Just because like there's only so much resistance kids can give you to this type of stuff or so much they can listen. But I'm kind of mean. So I was having a conversation a couple of days ago with somebody about business, and he goes, "Hey, man, I just want you to understand. Thank you for shooting me straight." And whenever somebody says that to me, I say, "Look, I'm honestly not smart enough not to. Like, this is how I operate. It's kind of my operating system across the board. So not everyone loves me. I get it, but that's how I operate. And my way of walking into this meeting is this would be against grain if I held back. Like, I don't think it makes sense to. It's just not part of my operating system. So I was leaning towards telling people, but I was curious what your perspective was perception was on should I or should I not. And I think we landed at the same place. Like, yes, some detriment could come, but overall, it's going to be a lot.
Way more upside than downside, though, is the way I see it. And I love that. Thanks for shooting me straight. I have something I talk to managers about all the time, which is if you feel something, say something. Yes, don't be a jerk about it, but
Right.
your general feeling of how they're behaving, you should express it to them if you want to be a good coach. If you want to be, a good coach doesn't see a kid doing something that's hurting his sports career if you're coaching youth in practice and just ignore it. You say
Yeah.
something like, hey buddy, like not hustling is going to get you sitting on the bench if you play for another coach. You tell people that. It's funny how often, and Frank, you probably get some of this with your managers too, where someone will share with me their frustration with an employee, right? So I don't know,
Yeah.
they're missing deadlines and they're missing deadlines way too often, and the manager feels as if this person is doesn't have the same level of intensity that they're looking for as a manager or the organization they need, and they'll say, I'm thinking that maybe I've got the wrong person in the job, and I don't know how to get through to them or what to say to them. And my answer is always, I don't know. You just said that really eloquently to me. Why wouldn't you tell them that? Well, what do you mean? Well, tell them that they miss a lot of deadlines and that's not cool with that position, and that you're starting to think that they're in the wrong job. Well, I can't say that. Why? Well, they might just quit or they might get offended, or what would HR say? And I'm like, for telling the person how you feel, like,
Can't be argued.
right? And I've done 360s for you. You do these 360 reviews, and I do them for managers all the time, and I hand them and I always tell them, listen, your feelings are going to get a little hurt. Read it once, put it away, come back to it tomorrow. Don't dwell on this all night. But I'm going to just ask you one question. If people thought negatively of you in certain areas, is it better to know exactly how they feel, or would you rather be blissfully ignorant and they talk behind your back? Which would you prefer? And everyone always is like, I would rather you be direct. It's going to hurt a little, but it hurts more if you feel a certain way about me and you just don't share it. That tells me you really don't give a shit about me, because you don't, you're not willing to go through a little friction to come real with it. And so I don't know, your whole like, thank you for shooting me straight. I've always liked that about you too. If you've seen me screwing up, you always give very direct, like, Ian, this is something you're doing. And it's like, you're kind of right. I'm miffed at you in the moment, but you think about it and you're like, well, Frank doesn't lie. So he's just telling me how he feels.
So there's a podcast clearly more successful than us because they're on iHeartRadio that I listen to from time to time during football season. And one of the guys says at the end, he goes, feedback.
Is that the barometer? Is that Mecca of podcasts, iHeartRadio? Because I think we can get on iHeartRadio. Maybe we are on iHeartRadio. Are we on our?
No.
What's Podetize doing? We're not on iHeart?
iHeart pays them to podcast.
This
They don't
is
pay
bullshit.
us. They don't pay us.
I think we can make this happen. I believe in us. I think we can make it happen.
Hey, Ian, thank you for shooting me straight. But when he says at the end, he goes, thank you for listening all the way to the end. And he goes, leave feedback. It's a gift. And feedback is a gift. It really is. It's like, I care enough about you to actually say something versus to not say something. So this is pivoting kind of off of this, but we had a really good month in our sales department. And we've talked about this here.
Hey,
before.
way to go, Frank. Way to have a good month.
Thank you. So we've talked about this here before, but I think it's worth saying again. As we get further and further away from belly-to-belly interactions and we get more into AI and all this other stuff, and especially now is the time of the year where it slows down a lot in our work, right? What we've really talked about is slow down and listen to people. And there's a bunch of these things that kind of come up, right? So I don't know if I've ever told you this story. So there was a lady named Suzanne Steele, and she was the best sales rep in Washington South when I got promoted. And I came from construction, right? So I was a hotshot construction guy. I got promoted into a manager role. And then I was going back into the models to sell.
By the way, badass salesperson name.
Do you know her, Suzanne Steele?
No, but badass name. Like
Great.
Suzanne Steele, like that doesn't get stronger on a business card.
Yeah, she's great.
I'm working with Suzanne Steele.
She was so unorganized, and so there were so many crazy things about this woman, but she was awesome.
She could tell.
But she goes like this to me. She goes, all right, we're going into our appointment tonight. Said so-and-so. She goes, the good Lord blessed you with one mouth and two ears for a reason. Listen and shut your fucking mouth. That's exactly what she said to me. And I just sat there. I was scared. I was scared of this woman. I was 26 years old. I was like, for those of you not I didn't say a word. And she finally asked me a question in the appointment. I just nodded. And she goes, what do you think? And I nodded a second time. And she goes, you can speak now. It was great.
Good
It was
for
such
mentors
incredible
like that.
feedback.
That's awesome. I love that.
But today we were having a conversation about like what's working in sales. And this dawned on me. I don't know if you've ever seen a headset, like with salespeople that wear headsets, they have like a big old headset. It's like big, like around their ears.
I wore one for a year and a half when I started in sales.
And the mouthpiece is this big. It's teeny. It's like half an inch.
Yeah.
And I told them, I said, what you need to tell people is the following. Like, I've got all this incredible technology around my ears so I can pay attention to you and listen. And my mouthpiece is like 1/16 the measurements of the listening device. Like, I'm here to listen to you. So like, as we get further and further away from like the human connection and AI comes in, like if you can just kind of like, that's the special sauce, is listening and paying attention to people. And I don't know. I thought it was really, really interesting.
You know, going off onto that tangent, I'm working with the vice president of sales of a company. And it's interesting how much money companies pour into sales training, sales investment, sales software. And they've had a rough couple of months. And I was just asking, what do you think it is? And it's wild, Frank. It's like, you know what he leads with? What you just said.
AI.
We're not listening. No,
he knows what he knows.
We're not listening. He goes, I go into the notes in our system. They're not getting to know people personally. They're not building rapport. They're just reading off a script, going through the motions. That is like as universal as it gets. This is like Dale Carnegie, 100-year-old stuff. Shut up, listen, pay attention, take good notes, get to understand the person. It's not AI. It's not technical. It's do a better job of trying to understand why that person might want to change their status quo, what they're looking to change and why, and, you know, try to understand how you can help. That's simple.
Back to why I think I'm going to share this in the first place. I think we do a better job of servicing our customer than anybody else in our marketplace. Now, there's probably people in other parts of the market that do really well, but here's what I know to be factual. Both of the guys that I'm friends with that are in my market, they both turn their tenants over about every 18 months on average. We turn our tenant over about every 5 to 7 years. So we offer a different service. We have a different client and we service them a different way. Not only that, I think we provide a product that works for this group of people. And if there is no more vouchers, I think there'll be a flight to quality and people will find us because of how we offer it, what we provide, and this new quality of product that we're going to bring in is through our ADUs is going to differentiate us because I think we know who we work with. So like in the end, what I feel super comfortable with is, no, we know who we are, but we know who we're working with and we know what to provide for them. And we know how to make this a successful relationship. And in the end, that's, I think, why I feel comfortable sharing.
Yeah. And again, you can share all you want, your tactics, your strategies. What you can't share is the secret sauce, which is implementation. People don't do that the way you do. They don't execute the way that you do. They don't figure it out the way you do. How many times I've had people ask me, how do you get a following? How did you, get people to follow you in your writing? How did you get in Forbes? And it's like, all right, do you want to know? You friggin' write every day for hours. It sucks. And it's like, oh, is there an easier way? Do you know an editor I could call? It's like, no, it doesn't. I got this great article. Could you share your Forbes contact with me? And it's like, they don't want your article. They don't know you. Like, it doesn't work that way. I don't have a bullet to give you that, boom, you're published on Forbes. Great job. Like, they don't even know me anymore. I've been writing there for the last few years. I wasn't earning it. I had to get off of Forbes. So, you can share all you want, Frank. That's a great idea. I'm telling you, no one in that room is going to execute it the way you do, the way you grind, the way you roll your sleeves up and go figure it out. Also, on this whole feedback is a gift. Thank you to Chris Heights for commenting on our Spotify and giving us a 5-star. He got a t-shirt, Frankie. Yep. Sent one off. Just had my assistant send one off.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Chris Heights.
Chris Heights. Thank you, Chris Heights.
Is he the Chris Heights that I used to work with at NVR?
No, he is not. He's a younger guy. He's in sales. But Chris, in his comments said, you two are really funny, but especially Frank.
It's the opposite of what we usually hear. Frank, shut up. What are you going to talk for?
Frank's the best. No one is ever saying shut up to you. They say we want more Frank, the best color man in the business. Well, Frankie, I think we have worked through your thorny problem. You are going to share everything, and there is absolutely zero risk of it. And also, the beauty of this is, I know when you get up in front of these groups, the last thing you want to do is spend hours preparing. The beauty of this is, you know it inside and out. You've been working on it for 2 years. This is easy for you to get up in front of a group and talk about something like this. So your prep time will be less, but you will also sound really intelligent and on top of your shit. And all that's going to do is, kind of polish your brand even more in front of a group of people with money who are also successful.
One of the things I'm really excited about that came out of this, as I circled it, abundance versus scarcity. And the other thing, this is kind of, me being me. I'm going to put that in my slide and say, I really struggle with, should I share this or not? But it comes down to abundance versus scarcity. And I thought this would be something that hopefully this room can, I don't know if you're going to find value in it, but I didn't know if I should even talk about it because it's kind of new for me, but I'm going to leave with it.
Frankie, that's so good. That's so good. So in storytelling, one of the best things you can do in the beginning of a story is build anticipation, right? So the best TV show to ever do this was Breaking Bad.
Oh, God.
They would show you like a random scene that made no sense, that was wild at the very beginning, and then they would just cut away from it and go into the regular. So you're like, that's going to happen at the end of this episode? You couldn't leave. They're the best at it. The very first episode they do it, it's him running around in his underwear with a cell phone and someone's coming in a van and you're like, what the hell? I got to watch.
And then by season 4, they were teasing it for the whole season. And then they did a secondary show called Better Call Saul, which is one of the characters that they broke out and made about him.
I haven't watched it yet. Do I need to see that one?
Yes.
Yeah, that's good too.
Oh my God. And what they do, Ian, there is they tease the end of the entire series in the first episode, and they don't get there for 5 freaking years.
Oh man, but the best. So, but this is a key thing in storytelling is you share a nugget that makes me lean forward to hear the rest, and then you don't tell the rest. And so what Frank is doing here, he's going to lead this pitch. At least I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think you should. He's going to lead by saying, I need to just tell all of you I've got something so juicy to share with you today that I actually thought about not sharing it, because there's some people here from Richmond and I don't want you to beat me to this because this is going to make some money. You lead a pitch that way. Everyone leans forward. Wait a second. This guy's about to tell me something that he literally was agonizing over whether he should even share because it is so profitable. He was afraid that this whole room would go copy, steal it, and do it in their market. But he's decided to tell it. And this isn't even schlep. This isn't like you just being a cornball. We literally just did a whole episode on you going back and forth on whether to share this because it is that good. You do that and no one's going to get up to go take a piss while you're presenting. No one's going to be on their phones. They're going to be leaning in. Tell us the secrets, Yoda. We got to hear how you've done this.
Now, that might not be completely true because I may have to pee in the middle of it.
That's true. Knowing Frank, he's definitely going to. Frankie, it's been good hanging out with you. To all of our loyal listeners, you should be watching this on YouTube by now. If you haven't, you need to follow us there. But wherever you're listening, we appreciate you. If you haven't given us a 5-star review and comment, once you do that, we will send you a t-shirt, and it is a nice t-shirt, nice thread count. Chris Heights is going to look really good in that out there. We want more Chris's out there giving us comments, and we will send you. I got a box of like 50 of these Frankie gave me sitting in my office. I want to send more of our Let Me Speak to a Manager t-shirts out to you.
Hey, feedback is a gift, and so are these ADUs. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh, yes. If you have $100,000 and you're an accredited investor, give us a call. We got a good deal for you. See you, Frankie.
See you.